We have a lot of different ships and different classifications for them, by role, by size, by efficiency at their role, and even sub-classifications for most if not all of those ships, making some of the classifications even more ship specific. So I took a look at the most typical types of ships which we have in the game, and to an extent their subcategories, although this can grow pretty big. Let's start with the fighters. These are simple combat focused small ships. They fall into three sub-classifications. The light fighters being best duelers and most maneuverable ships, while also a bit on the lighter side when it comes to defenses. Medium fighters having more durability and depending on the type either slightly or significantly more firepower than the light fighters, while also being slightly less maneuverable. And then the heavy fighters, which focus on durability and less on maneuverability, while equally packing a pretty big punch. All of their focus is combat, on a different level, perhaps against different types of ships. There are some really top tier fighters or popular fighters like the Arrow and F7A, while also some others which are less noticed like the Hurricane. Then we have the medium sized ships. These are slower and significantly less agile than the fighters, often requiring a multi-crew for maximum combat efficiency. However, most of these ships are not with the combat focus, but rather transport ships, or filling another specific role like mining. The medium-sized ships don't exactly branch out like the fighters, as there are many roles they can be used for, and often support transport alongside combat or some accommodations for players when exploring the world. Most iconic here has to be the Drake Cutlass Black, which falls into the medium fighter / medium freight category, which splits this ship into two, while it also has some dropship capabilities, so perhaps even into three. We also have ships like the Spirit series and Zeus Mark IIs, each having their own strengths. Then we have obviously the large ships, which equally to medium-sized ships can fill several roles. Most of these are still combat capable, but rather slow to maneuver, yet very durable. I believe for maximum combat efficiency, all of them require a crew. Most of them do offer good amount of storage, and not all of them are 100% transport oriented, as one of the newest concept ships, the Anvil Paladin, has zero storage and focuses fully on combat, while the Constellation series offers storage alongside one of the best firepowers at the hands of the pilot. That is, at least for the time being. We do have other more unique large ships like the 400i, which is luxury transport, pretty fast, and even a bit agile among the larger vehicles. And so we have reached the sub-capital class ships. These are all the ships that are very large, but not big enough or not capable enough to fill the role of a capital class ship. All of them require at least some crew members to perform their designated roles. Great example here are the gunships like the Hammerhead, or currently being worked on Perseus. Even 600i, which is once again a luxury ship, or even the Staffer Gemini, which is a refueling ship, most of them are still pretty big, but either not big enough or not really focused to be a capital ship, as they are meant for work-oriented roles in the game. However, most of them are meant to work alongside a fleet or a capital class ship, performing either utility or combat roles to assist the fleet. And finally, we have reached the capital ships. These are mainly the fleet leading ships. It does not mean they are all going to lead a fleet, but rather some of them being capable of filling that role. Since we also have ships here like the Karak, which is meant for exploration, and Reclaimer, focused for salvage. These two are clearly meant to fill a specific role, and not really lead a fleet of ships, not really lead a fleet themselves. Because for that, we got ships like the Polaris, which offers a lot of firepower and cargo storage. Of course, it requires a really big crew to perform, and it stands out because it is a combat-focused ship. One of the key features of capital class ships, or perhaps capital class combat ships, is supposed to be the fleet view, allowing us better control of the fleets from the holographic map at the main deck of the leading ship. Since there is rather minimal capital class combat for the time being, this feature is being worked on and probably isn't anywhere near to be finished. But all of these were the main classifications, and they reflect heavily on the size of the ships, also on the roles, and there are other sub-classifications or classification types themselves like starters, snobs, utility, or specialized ships. Some of them can fall into previously mentioned categories, while others can stand a bit more separate from similar ships. Most of the designations are relatively simple, reflecting mainly on their role, with few exceptions like crew gameplay or the scale of which the ship performs its role. If we would get more into the ship's classes themselves, this would also spread out the differences, the separation between different types, between the ships of the same size, or perhaps even the role they perform in. It could spread far more, like bombing ships of small size, medium size, large size, gunships of different sizes, utility ships of different sizes. There are many ways it could spread, but I believe starting with the fighters and ending with capital class ships is enough of a classification for most players to understand. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.